Hello and welcome to the episodes 10, 11 and 12 recap of Gossip Girl Season 1 Part 2. So Jules is staying over at Zoya's because she doesn't want to be at home with her dad right now. Understandable. Davis, Jules' father, is doing his mea culpa rounds on CNN, saying that he's willing to listen. His fiancée is at his side, saying that the accusers are mistaken. It's a bit of a mess. Kate wants to try retake Gossip Girl because the guy in charge is properly destroying Julian, so lots of hijinks ensue. I know she's one of the good guys now, but still, it hasn't helped in her and the guy's likability. They're still annoying as all heck. Obi tells Aki that he wants to be there for Jules, check in on her. Jules is back at school to the surprise of everybody. Monet and Luna tell Jules that she's been socially cancelled, basically. They give her advice on how to get back to her old, popular, beloved status, because right now everyone seems to want to distance themselves from her. And remember, she is an influencer, so this is affecting her brand and her business as well. Max is at home eating ice cream and watching cartoons, possibly wallowing a bit. He's avoiding school and Audrey and Aki, and he's looking very adorable. Audrey calls him asking for a favor. She wants him to get her mother an invite to Eleanor Waldorf, yes, that Eleanor's Hanukkah party. This is so that Audrey's mom, who is also a fashion designer, can reinvigorate her career, and that connection would be really helpful. She seems a bit stressed though, and I really hope this doesn't trigger a relapse. Zoya has been called into the office. Constance can't keep accepting Davis's money. Remember, he's funding Zoya's scholarship, and Constance needs to distance themselves from him. She does find out though that she's eligible for another possible scholarship. Kate asks the new Gossip Girl guy out for drinks. Let's call him Gossip Bro. Yeah, I know. She has a plan. But as usual, I don't know what that plan is. We'll see. Jules' friends advise her to host a party and have all the proceeds from that party go to charity. I'm sorry, but Luna and Monet are not very good in their Olivia Pope roles. This is bad PR fixer advice, but okay. Then it's announced on the news that 3 more women have come forward about Jules' dad. So there aren't many RSVPs to the party. Looks like it might be a dud. Zoya's donor turns out to be a youngish guy and they kinda know each other. He's kind of well known as well in those circles. Nothing shady's going on here though. Gossip Girl sends out a blast showing a photo of them meeting, and people think that it has something to do with Jillian's party that's going to be hosted there where they are. So there is some buzz about it. Obi bumps into Jules and brings her some food. He wants to be there for her. She asks him to be her date to the party and he says yes. Kate is at a sports bar with Gossip Bro, I guess, and later at his apartment they're making out. Ew, I can't. Aw, it's so nice to see Cyrus and Eleanor again. Eleanor tries to set up Max's dad, and it's actually really cute. Dorota is there too. Eleanor and Cyrus talk a little bit about the allegations against Davis because Cyrus is representing 3 of the women. Back at Jules' party, people are starting to leave and Luna and Monet decide to bring in reinforcements. Jillian stands to try and restore Jillian's relevancy. There are 12 though, and they cancel her. This storyline is starting to get embarrassing and Luna and Monet need to do better. Max's other father arrives at Eleanor's dinner and it's all confusing because other dad is getting along quite well with the new setup man. It's cute. I think the dad who just arrived is going to be a bit of an agent of chaos. Obi arrives to the party to console Jules and he tells her that he loves her, but she's too stressed about her dad and she doesn't have time for this. Obi sulks. So does he just think that he can bounce from Jules to her sister and back again and it's all cool? I mean, I am into the Jules and Obi pairing, but Jesus, give her a little bit of room to breathe. He is a bit smothering and needy, I think. Max bails Aki out of some trouble, and he also sees that it might not be 100% over between his parents. The dad who left misses the other dad, but I don't want dad number 2 to have to change who he is, and that's his main concern as well. Kate sends out a Gossip Girl blast to kind of cover for Jillian, or save her reputation a little. Because of Zoya's involvement in Jillian's mess, her scholarship offer gets pulled. Her dad is going to have to do a lot more lawyering if he's going to have to pay her tuition in full. Audrey finally confronts Jillian, who has been a little bit selfish, she thinks. She is snapping at a lot of people. Sure, the issue with her dad is devastating, and all of her friends have been there for her, but she has been a little dismissive of just how much effort they're putting in to help her. But then again, these girls tend to do the most, when I think all Jules really needed was someone to listen to and fewer antics. They're the ones going to crazy lengths to babysit her 24/7 and try and shield her from the truth. As usual, I'll admit I'm a Jillian apologist though, so I'm pretty biased. Audrey and Aki talk about how Max has been there for both of them and they go over to see him, wanting to be with him again, but Max tells them off. He says he's tired of being everything to them all the time, but they don't even consider him a friend enough to know how much they use him and how much that hurts. At the end of the episode, Davis, Jules' dad, packs his bag and leaves. He leaves his fiancée and everything, and Gillian deletes Instagram. In episode 11, it's a Christmas episode. Audrey and Aki are still looking for a third. Max says he won't be distracted by relationships and love. He's obviously feeling a little down, but he says he has his focus back. Obi's sister is in town and she's engaged. I don't care about this character, but there is a storyline here about how she and Max hooked up once, and at first there seems to be some shadiness with the sister's fiance, but it turns out it was actually Obi's sister being shady with her business deals, so the guy ends up calling off the engagement. I don't know what the point of this whole story was. It was really boring. We can't get invested in this new character. Nobody cares. The teachers are up to shenanigans, the good kind though. They have Gossip Bro fired or suspended, and now there's a vacuum, and we know that nature abhors a vacuum. So there is a struggle for power, and this older lady temporarily takes over. It's a mess, as usual. Jules overhears her friends saying that it's been kind of a weight off their shoulders not talking to her this past week because they lost themselves a bit running after her. I'm mostly distracted by her blazer here. I really like it. Zoya is on academic probation, and there's a new character who I'm convinced was written by a boomer, unironically thinking that this is how millennials really are. She fakes being racially profiled. She fakes going into anaphylactic shock. She steals someone's wallet. She skips detention. Very frantic and irritating energy. She's kind of the worst. Zoya runs along with her because, of course. Jules' gran comes by and tells Jules that she wants to sell her home and have her move back to Indiana with them. It's nice to see that Jules has family that cares about her, but the execution of the storyline is pretty clumsy as Jules runs around town trying to prove that she has family and people to look out for her just so that she doesn't have to go to Indiana. Audrey and Aki are experimenting with other people and they're not enjoying it. It's starting to feel a little forced, to be honest, and not just because the characters are forcing it, and that's the point. I mean the storyline. I'm sort of starting to lose interest. Anyway, they go to a therapist who rightly points out that they're kind of trying to be too much for each other. Not every relationship can fulfill every need. Zoya misses dinner because she's out with this new girl. She lies to her dad and says that she's with Jules. This is not what I meant when I said make new friends, Zoya. Her name is Shan, by the way. So she's actually wealthy, which means that she can afford to make mistakes and mess up because she'll be protected by her money, unlike Zoya, who's on a scholarship, and her dad has to work very hard to keep her at that school, if he even can at this point. She later shows up at Zoya's house and talks her into sneaking out, even though Zoya's grounded. Jules and Audrey reconcile. Zoya and Shan go to a speakeasy. She's 15. I don't even know how she's allowed into these places. This Insta friendship is here to stay though, I guess. It's the same place her dad is at watching a performance, and I guess he misses her because he's there and he texts her inviting her there. Shan tells Zoya's dad that his expectations of Zoya are stressing her out and it's too much for her. They apologize to each other, and I don't know if I really get this. Her dad basically allows her to go on dates, go out. He wasn't mad at her grade slipping. He's pretty humorless, sure, but I didn't think his expectations were higher than any other parent of a 15-year-old, but sure. Audrey and Aki admit to each other that it's Max who's been missing in their relationship. Okay, so I'm all for a Audrey, Aki, Max throuple, but this doesn't address the underlying issue. Can they not be happy together anymore without Max? Jules moves in with Zoya and her dad, and at the end of the episode, the teachers decide to publish the sources behind all of the Gossip Girl tips. This kind of felt like a pointless filler episode. In episode 12, Max is back to his Dorian Gray hedonistic ways, and the rest of the Upper East Side has descended into chaos because of Gossip Girl's revelation, although once again they show us a bunch of people who we've never met and don't care about. Kate is glad that it's done with. She suspects that nobody will be willing to send in tips if they're not anonymous. The Gossip Girl experiment has failed, she says. The kids are going to have to keep themselves accountable. We know that this isn't the end, though. Shan is a recurring character, I guess. She has some kind of a scam so that they can do something, and she wants Zoya to ditch Jules and spend New Year's Eve with her. Audrey and Aki go to check in on Max, who isn't taking his parents' divorce very well, and he's still upset about what happened between them. He tells them that the issue is that it's not just about sex with them. He wants more. Audrey and Aki say that they want the same thing. They get him to clean up and get him to come to the house in Hudson to spend New Year's Eve together. Jules goes over to Obi with a bottle of champagne. She cooked up some plan with Luna and Monet to get him back, but Obi is seeing someone else because of course he is. Obi moves quick. Plus, what other storyline will we have if the writers don't give him a girlfriend? Luna and Monet say to invite Obi and his date to Hudson, where they'll be staying. Her name is Grace, by the way, Obi's new date. And she seems lovely, but Monet and Luna convince Jules that Grace won't last till midnight. Luna looks especially flawless in this episode, by the way. Zoya gets lost in the house and then she gets locked outside. She's chatting to Shan this whole time about it, acting like she's being kept there against her will, and she always does this. She wants to be a part of the rich kid crowd, but she's all sulky. It's the worst. Especially since at this point, she knows what she's going to get with Jillian and her friends. Shenanigans and some backstabbing, the usual. But I suppose a more charitable opinion would be that she just wants to spend time with her sister and be there for her. Zoya tells Shan that she might need saving. Zoya has no issue standing up to Jillian, so I don't believe that she was strong-armed into going. She could have just said no. Jillian, though, also needs to chill on the Zoya thing. She seems to get along better with her own friends, and she and Zoya don't really have that much in common. I suppose with her dad being gone, though, she's going to want to be around family, so she's excused. Always. Luna and Monet found out that Grace is a mean drunk, so they set out to get her drunk and embarrass herself in front of Obi. Davis stops by to thank Zoya's dad for taking Jules in, and he offers money to help with their lodging situation and for Jules' expenses. Zoya's dad doesn't want it at first, which I get, but he does accept it in the end. I mean, he does have an extra mouth to feed now, and it's understandable that he's putting aside his pride to give his daughter the best education and a comfortable place to live. Although, I don't know, Constance seems to have fallen off a little since the old days. Luna has this guy that she's been hooking up with every year when she comes to Hudson. He tells her that he wants to be with her, he's planning on moving to New York, and they can be together more often, possibly officially. He plays a song on the jukebox and everyone is happy and celebrating in this dancing montage, except for Zoya, who's on her phone. Grace, drunk at this point, gets up on stage and she sings, or tries to sing, Shallow from A Star Is Born, and she is a mess and she gets pretty rowdy and eventually she has to be escorted out. Honestly though, it's not that bad. Embarrassing and sloppy, sure, but she didn't say anything racist or homophobic. She didn't reveal any secrets, didn't put herself in direct danger. She smartly leaves the next day. No time for these childish antics. Max eventually decides that he doesn't want to be the expendable one in Audrey and Aki's throuple. And as it stands, that's how it would be since they're the couple and he's the third. He doesn't want to get hurt. They suggest then being in an actual relationship, all three of them as equal partners. I'm gonna be honest, I like all three of these characters a lot, but Max definitely makes me like Audrey and Aki more. I think in general, the actor who plays Max elevates all of the storylines that he's in. Zoya actually gives Jillian a pretty decent talking to, like, get over it and stop being a mean girl and be a gracious loser. He's seeing someone else. Get it together, Jules. Okay, as much as I don't like Kate, this rich lady talking to her like she's beneath her in this episode was really gross. Jillian comes clean to Obi about what she did to Grace. She tells him that she loves him, but he tells Jules to let him go. Max eventually says that he's never actually been in a relationship, but he wants to try this with Audrey and Aki. Luna tells her guy that she's not ready for more, but they agree to spend more time together. Jillian apologizes to everyone, including Grace and Obi, and she invites the entire town to the party. I mean, that's so extra, but okay, Jules. And she arranges to have Zoya's new friends come and pick her up. She also agrees that even though they're sisters, it doesn't mean that they have to be attached at the hip best friends. So yeah, that same cycle, she even acknowledges it, but all is well that ends well. At the end of the episode, Jules sends a message to Gossip Girl, basically challenging her. She says it's time for the gloves to come off. Gossip Girl should come back and make everyone worried. She's going to send Gossip Girl a bunch of dirt, but Gossip Girl won't know what's true and what isn't. As usual, I don't really know what the plan is here, but I guess we'll see. As far as I know, HBO Max has said there will be a season 2 of Gossip Girl. I probably won't be able to resist checking it out, even though this season kinda ended with a whimper. Anyway, that's it for this recap. Thank you for watching.